and I'm gonna get a lot of too. But honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over.
You know, he coming behind his jab, he throwing straight punches, he going to the body, going in up and down. He just got to tighten up a little bit on his defense, but other than that, man,
The pound-for-pound #1 spot is never guaranteed in a sport filled with debate. Fans and media continue to argue, but one of boxing's most feared men has made his stance clear. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, has spoken on Terence Crawford, and it wasn't a call to action. At 168 pounds, Crawford didn't just beat Canelo Alvarez, he broke him. A smaller fighter moving up through the divisions completely dismantled a man once seen as unbeatable.
On the Mount Rushmore of
Hell
boxers?
Yeah. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed.
Mm-hmm.
He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great,
Yeah.
but he definitely one of the greatest of all time for sure.
Benavidez knows what it takes to win at the highest level, having been a champion more than once and never tasting defeat. The praise David Benavidez gave Terence Crawford went beyond simple compliments meant to crown a king. A man who believes he is the best in the world did the unthinkable in a sport driven by ego and callouts. He didn't just applaud Crawford, he immediately placed him on boxing's Mount Rushmore. To Benavidez, Crawford is an all-time great, a fighter who changed history in ways most will never witness.
Terence Crawford, because, you know, he beat, he did something I didn't think he was going to do. You know what I mean? He went and he beat Canelo. You know, that's 3 weight classes going up. You know what I mean? And he made it look pretty easy. So you have to give Crawford.
This praise came from his most dangerous foe, the kind that silences everyone. After watching Crawford move up in weight and collect every title, Benavidez gave him his respect. But what he said next revealed Crawford's true persistence. When asked what impressed him most, Benavidez didn't mention speed, footwork, or switching stances. He pointed to something that can't be taught: heart. Benavidez was stunned that Crawford chose to stand and trade with a bigger puncher like Canelo in the later rounds, even while clearly ahead on the cards.
It was Crawford's ability to stay focused in the fight, and not only just to stay focused and box, but he also got rugged in there. You know what I mean? He started balling with him towards some late rounds. You know what I mean? That's something I appreciate in a fighter. You know what I mean? He was already up. He could have chose to just box, but he went in there and he tried to brawl with him in the last round. So that's really what impressed me. His heart more than anything.
Crawford didn't just want to win, he wanted control. It was the dog in him, a killer instinct that refused to let him settle for an easy victory.
Fight, you know, it's a good fight for both of them. Good fight for I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, you know, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
Yeah, I know you said like he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him like a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, wow, that high. I thought you were going to say like 25.
Yeah, I mean, no, Crawford is good. Crawford is good, and I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long time. And, you know, Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight. So I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long time. So, you know, Crawford, when he has, with a person that has a big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, you know, and you stay working for a long time, you know, you have a punch of shot.
Benavidez believes that's the secret weapon. He doesn't think Crawford will ever lose because of it. Crawford has elite skills, but he also carries a ruthless mindset to match. Benavidez believes Canelo Alvarez has lost that mentality.
And I'm gonna get a lot of too. But honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over Mayweather. Because of going up, you didn't see Mayweather go up from 147 to 168. That's crazy, bro. And honestly, I thought Crawford was gonna have more of a hard time because he had a hard time with Madronov. So imagine going up to it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, but I don't want to take nothing away from Mayweather. Mayweather is the greatest of all time. But I think that was a really big risk that Crawford took, and then he ended up winning. You know what I mean? So you have to give credit to that too. I mean, that's a big risk. That'd be like me going up and fighting Usyk right now, heavyweight.
I know that's been kind of hinted.
I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm not thinking of that right now. No, but that's kind of like how that'd be. You know what I mean? So you have to, bro. That's a lot of. He has a lot of balls to do that, and not only to go do that to show the world that he's really like that.
Crawford's praise became a double-edged sword because Benavidez used it to criticize Canelo Alvarez. After Crawford proved he was one of the greatest of all time, he dismantled the man he had chased for years and handed Canelo a crushing defeat. Benavidez pointed to what he believes was Canelo's fatal mistake. It wasn't a lack of skill or power. According to him, Canelo lost because of ego. This wasn't just a loss, it was a lesson. Benavidez didn't hold back, saying Canelo showed disrespect to both his opponent and the sport. He claimed Canelo didn't take the fight seriously, believing he could simply walk forward, throw a few punches, and overwhelm Crawford. In Benavidez's words, Canelo thought he would just walk through Crawford, land one big shot, and end it.
That he lost, I kind of felt like that could have been me. That was my moment. You know what I mean? If I would have gone in there, I know I would have beat him. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be a hater, but that's kind of how I feel. But you know what I mean? I give all the flowers to Crawford. You know what I mean?
That should have been me in there. That should have been my.
If I would have got that fight, I would have been me. I would have been the one getting my hand raised. But like I said, it didn't happen, and that's why it didn't happen, because Canelo knows that would have.
That kind of disrespect is not acceptable in the sport, and Benavidez made that clear. He ended with a chilling warning every fighter should remember: it will come back to bite you. In the end, the same ego that made Canelo famous is what ultimately brought him down.
I think Crawford took it way more serious than Canelo, which is kind of weird because, you know, the amount of money that Canelo was making. And I know all these people say, oh, yeah, you know, talking shit about Canelo. I'm not talking shit about him. He just didn't look like he really prepared 100%. He's throwing 10 punches around. Or I think it was his ego is that big that he thought that, oh, I'm just going to walk through him, catch him with a good shot, and it's going to be done. As you can see, Crawford is a different type of fighter. Not only has he had the boxing IQ, he has that dog in him. He was in there. He was brawling with Canelo like in the 8th, 9th, getting the best out of him. Boxing, he's epitome of a great boxer. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in that fight. You know what I mean? If you really want to make something come true and you really believe it, you can make it come true. And then the other lesson is, don't let your ego get the best out of you. And don't think that you don't have to prepare because you're a bigger fighter. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Canelo was no longer king. All eyes shifted to the next clear super fight, the man with the sharpest killer instinct. Terence Crawford was lined up against the most avoided pressure fighter in the sport, Mexico's David Benavidez. It felt like a true passing of the torch, the new king facing the uncrowned king, a battle for the soul of the 168-pound division. The excitement was instant. This was the right fight, but when the question was finally put to Benavidez, his answer stunned everyone. He didn't just say no, he dismissed it entirely. He said he doesn't want to fight Terence Crawford. His reasoning was just as shocking as the rejection. His words echoed worldwide: he's done at 168, the super middleweight division is behind him, and Crawford is out. He even said he wouldn't reconsider for a massive payday against Canelo, making it clear this decision isn't about money at all.
Don't make 168, is that a possibility?
Honestly, bro, my plan is after this fight, I want to go down to 154. Nah, bro, I'm done with cruiserweight. You know, I want to take this opportunity, though. Yes, I say cruiserweight. I want to take this opportunity to, you know, congratulate Crawford. You know, he put a hell of a performance. He's up there in the Mount Rushmore of the greatest fighters of all time. And, you know, let Crawford do his thing, bro. You know, at the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that at 168. You know, the only reason I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo, and I'm just being real with you, you know. And let Crawford do his thing. Let him have his, let him. I want to give his flowers, man, because he's a great fighter, man. When there's no other fighter that's coming up from 147 to beat a type of fighter like Canelo at 168, you know, when Crawford, you know, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, you know, I have no interest in going down to 168. I'm not saying that I'm scared of Crawford or whatever, you know, but Crawford's a man at 168. That's his weight class. I'm done with one.
In a cold, almost dismissive statement, Benavidez shut down what could have been boxing's biggest fight. His only message was clear: let Terence Crawford have his weight class. By walking away, he turned his back on the division, the fans, and the highly anticipated matchup, leaving Crawford as the undisputed favorite.
Who do you favor? I still got it at 50-50. Benavidez good, but Canelo is, you know what I mean, great. We just got to see the fight, man. We all want to see the fight.
Do you think he gets him to the body? Because Google was landing a lot of body shots.
I don't know. That's why I said we got to watch the fight. You know what I mean? It's a different style, different type of fighter. You got two strong fighters going head to head.
Is Canelo the only 68 you fight, or would you consider a Benavidez?
Yeah, Canelo the only.
But why would the top fighter in his division step away? Why leave a weight class with bigger stars and fatter paychecks? This is the story most people miss. At 168 pounds, Benavidez carries a troubled past. He's the first in history to win a world title twice and lose both. He lost his first belt after testing positive for cocaine, and after regaining it, he lost it again, this time for failing to make weight. That chapter left a long and painful mark. Dropping to 168 pounds was no easy task. Now, the Mexican monster is hunting new challenges. He's done looking back. He's moved up to 175 pounds, aiming for cruiserweight, determined to dominate a new division. He wants to prove himself against light heavyweight monsters and is even open to matchups with fighters like Dimitri Bivol and Zorda Ramirez.
We've been in talks fighting Zorda Ramirez for his belts at cruiserweight, so we're already in talks of that, you know. And then that's definitely a fight that has to happen because I used to spar him when I was 18 years old. All the way, you know, I sparred him a lot, so I know that's a pay-per-view fight. So it was a pay-per-view sparring session, so the fight is going to be, you know, way better. But yeah, definitely, that's in my sights. You know, I definitely want to go up to cruiserweight, and I want to be a reigning defending champion at light heavyweight, and then make my way up to cruiserweight.
He's handing Crawford the 168-pound crown, even though he clearly respects him and has no desire to face him.
That's right.
Wow. That's cheating.
I love it.
That is cheating.
That's a heel turn. You the boss.
That is heel.
That's a heel turn.
I love it. You got fired.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Roy at his peak. Just remember this. If Roy would have retired after the Ruiz fight, he would have replaced Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time. I agree. Right? But he didn't, and the rest of that stuff is in there, right? So I get it. But Roy at his peak, I think, had a higher peak than anyone on this list. I agree. Okay, Manny Pacquiao, we've all said it a million times. I think he is, outside of Sugar Ray Robinson, I have Manny Pacquiao's second greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever. Floyd Mayweather never lost. And did he cherry pick when and where? Yes. But guys, from 130, 135, he cleaned out 135. He beat the best guy at 130, beat the best guy at 135. Yes, did he pick and choose at 140, 47, and 54? Yeah, but he won all those fights.
That's right.
And he beat a lot of good fighters. And more than that, put Floyd at his best with anyone through history.
It leaves the sport with a question. Did a big ego cost him his belts and deny fans the ultimate super fight? Or is David Benavidez simply avoiding the fighter he just placed on boxing's Mount Rushmore? That's it for today's video. Hit the bell, follow, and leave a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you in the next one.